from my city.
Mhm.
And I sent him an email, and I said, can I'm a big fan of your work. Is there any way I can, uh, you know, uh, send you the book and you can send it back to me to have to have it signed? And it was completely unexpected. And he was like, you know what? I'm watching a Western movie right now. Why don't you join me at my place? What? So, and he gave me his address just like that, and I went at his place and we talked about his movie. It was great, completely unexpected. I bought all my DVDs and books and posters I have. He signed all the stuff, and we simply talked about his work. It was a great afternoon. He's a very
That's absolutely
friendly work
incredible.
guy. Yeah.
Ludo, do you have any photos of this? That's absolutely incredible. If there was a
I
picture
do
of you
have.
and Edio,
Yeah, yeah,
that,
yeah. I do have some photos. Not right now. I can send it to you with the. I have to search for them on my
yeah,
mobile.
that's great. That's absolutely amazing. What an interesting story. Wow,
Yeah, yeah,
that's
and
unbelievable. What are the chances? Oh,
exactly. And we talk about
great.
the movies, and he told me some trivia because I'm a big fan of this kind of. Well, I'm a big fan mostly of horror movies, of Italian
Yes.
horror
Yeah.
movies from the 80s,
Hmm.
and he knew all the directors. I mean,
Wow.
they worked together, so he told me a lot of trivia. This was really a nice
I
guy,
say
very
it'd be an,
friendly
an
person.
enlightening moment.
Yeah, 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 exactly, exactly. And it was the day of
Excellent.
my birthday, which was even nicer. But yeah,
Ludo, that's so great. It sounds almost made up. I'm
yeah,
just joking. I'm just
no, no,
joking.
no. I'll send you the pictures. I'll definitely send you the pictures.
Excellent. I look forward to those, and we'll put
And
them in
oh,
as well if you
you know
send them.
what? Wait a second. Wait a second. All right, all right. Thanks for waiting. So that's the autobiography that he
Yep.
wrote,
Hmm.
and there you go. And that's the signature.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's
Yeah, yeah,
absolutely
yeah.
brilliant.
Great.
Great. Well, what was the first movie you remember seeing growing up? You're a fan
The
of
first,
horror.
pardon?
Your first favorite film, the one that was most memorable to you.
Oh, my first favorite. I think it was. You know what? I would go with Nightmare Before Christmas. I was really small,
Hmm.
and I think my parents brought it to me when I was in VHS.
Yep.
And the kids, they have the stuff that they have to repeat over and over again. Some
Yeah.
stuff that they do, like
Yeah.
songs or this kind of stuff. Well, I was simply watching it all over again.
Wow.
I mean, so much that
Hello?
at a certain point it was horrible.
Oh, gee.
Good day.
Well, at least who's this?
Hi, Johnny.
Hi,
Oh,
I'm
Johnny.
Johnny.
I forgot you were joining us as well. Sorry, this
Yes,
is
yes.
another member of the fan page. Said he
Oh,
would join us as well.
hi.
Ludo,
Good
this
evening.
Ludo,
How are you?
Johnny, this is
Ludo.
Ludo.
How's it going?
Good, good. I'm good. I'm great. How are you doing?
Yeah, fantastic, fantastic. What are we talking about? What's this all about then?
Well, we're just discussing Ludo's interest in films. It's quite good to get a wee background in what kind of movies inspired you growing up. And he was telling me a really great story. He actually knows Enzo Castellari,
The director,
the
Sinbad.
director of
Yeah,
Project Sinbad.
Sinbad. Yeah.
Yes, Sinbad
That's
and the Seven Seas.
incredible. How did you meet him?
I sent him an email.
Wow.
I wanted he to.
That easy.
Yeah, that easy. Asking to sign some stuff that I have, his book and some DVDs, and he told me, "Oh, why don't you come over?" And I went to his place. That easy.
Wow. Wow.
It's that easy.
That's
Yeah,
incredible.
that was pretty nice. Actually, if you're interested, maybe you can just drop him an email. He might be happy to talk with you about his
Excellent.
work.
That would be. I never even thought of that. Never thought of
Yeah.
that.
Johnny,
So
what's that background you have there? That's very interesting.
That's just
I didn't quite see that.
I'm not sure how to change that. That's just a background that I had for a Zoom meeting with my friends. It's the drummer from Avenged Sevenfold. We miss him. He died in 2009. Is when
Oh,
he
that's a
died.
shame.
Yeah. So it was just my friends. I wish I could change it, but I feel like I'd mess it up and I'd end up leaving the meeting somehow. But I'll just leave it there if it's not too distracting, if that's all right.
Okay, that's fine. Johnny, if you just, there's a wee bit of background noise. If you could mute your microphone by any chance, just in between. Oh, if you could just mute your microphone, Johnny, just so that doesn't keep popping up, if that's okay.
Yeah, of course. No bother.
Thanks. If you just talk when you're asked the question, okay? Good?
Yeah.
Right. So, question for you, Ludo. Well, maybe not a question, but more of an interpretation. SBad is widely regarded as kind of a movie flop, and you'll quite often hear that tossed around review websites, especially kind of IMDb, where people don't really appreciate films for their kind of, I don't know, their inherent value almost. What would you say to those who don't treasure SBad for the artistic masterpiece that it is?
Well, I wouldn't call it a masterpiece. I mean, Castellari did better movies, but SBad is definitely very entertaining. And I do understand that some people might not like it, possibly, but I think the main, I mean, it's a super funny movie. I have a number of reasons why it's extremely funny, extremely entertaining, and every time I watch it, it never grows old. It's always funny.
Exactly.
I do understand why some people might consider it a bit difficult, probably because it's of the plot. So the first time I saw it, I was really impressed because there's Sinbad and all his friends, hero friends. They have to rescue the princess, and they actually break in the palace, and they are almost there. This happens in the first 15-20 minutes of the movie, and they're almost there. They are so close to rescuing the princess, and suddenly they're like, you know what, let's just go to a side quest. Let's just go and search for these 4 gems that we never heard about them. They just okay, let's go. What? So, and then there are some some interesting thing with the editing. Sometimes there's simply a narrator that narrates what's going on. We kind of see the images, but why don't we actually see the movie? And that was a problem for me at the beginning. That's something you have to just accept. It's like this. And then I found out that the movie was written not by Castellari but by Luigi Cozzi. He's another director from Rome, whom I met as well. He has a shop in Rome. He sells science fiction books and DVDs and this kind of stuff. So another extremely friendly person. And Cotts, well, he goes as Lewis Coates in this movie. It's more, I don't know, and
but more sophisticated.
It's more, probably it's more acceptable by an international audience. Well, I don't know. Well, anyway, and Cozzi, some people regard him, you probably know, as a bad director. I don't agree. He's a great director, but Cozzi knows how to do science fiction, and that's it. He does very good science fiction movie, and the rest, let's just not go there. So,
do you think that's why he introduced the stones aspect of it?
I think so. And those are stones, but they shoot lasers. What?
Yeah.
I mean, why?
Science fiction.
All right.
Definitely.
And so there are some science fiction parts. The hideout of Jafar, by the way, why is there Jafar in a Sinbad movie? I don't know.
That's the Aladdin crossover everybody wanted.
Right. So, anyway, so there are this, and there's this action, and Castellari is a master of action movies, and then there are this kind of science fiction part, and then I found out just by reading on the internet that the movie was actually edited. Well, it was shot by Castellari and it was edited by Cozzi. So you have a big mixture. I don't understand why the producer did this thing. and those two directors are very different from each other. They're very different movies. So it's I think this creates the problem with the editing and with the plot.
It was a mashup of artistic styles kind of in one film, where nobody
Exactly.
really had one direction.
I think that's exactly what happened. So I think this is what creates the plot holes and all the problems with the editing. So why is there a narrator? Like the scene is there. They're moving their lips. They're talking. Why is there a narrator? So I think that's the main problem. Well, but once you accept this and you just accept it, then it's full of memorable scenes. It's full of great stuff. Um, like for example, the sword fights. He has the sword, right? But somehow he throws away the sword and just wrestlers with the monster. Sometimes he tries to use the sorry, I go on.
No, not at all. It's just they played to Lou Ferrigno's strength. I think made him look like a gorilla. They had to use all of his I don't know, talents.
Exactly. No, but that makes perfectly sense. I mean, he's a mountain of muscle. He's incredible. Sometimes he tries to use the sword and then the sword breaks. He just throws it away.
Back to the hands again. Makes for great fight scenes.
Yeah. And which is fine, right? I mean, and then I know. Do you want me to talk about the part which I think that are funny from the movie? Well, funny, which are
we'll move on to that.
Yeah. Let's.
I'll give.
Sure.
Okay, I'll give one question to Johnny here, if that's okay. Johnny, you can unmute your microphone just now if you'd like. Have we still got him here?
Hello?
There he is.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes, Johnny. That's great. Thank you. Okay, Johnny. If Sinbad were to be remade today, there would likely be controversy. The film is known for mocking various stereotypes, something people of today find distasteful. Do you think there's anything wrong with placing people in roles because of their looks? So the way they appear, not the character, but the actor. So for example, Cork Hubert as a midget, or should that be played as a regular-sized human, or by a regular-sized human, sorry?
Well, it depends. You know, I don't think that a movie like Sinbad could be made today, just in terms of the writing and the, you know, there was an era for those kind of movies, and that era is long gone. Like, we're not going to get another Sinbad, we're not going to get another Hercules, Lou Ferrigno, or Arnold Schwarzenegger. We're not going to get them anymore because nobody wants them. But concerning the stereotype casting, you know, it's a touchy subject for a lot of people these days. I think that if a movie is set in a certain area, then the actors that play in that movie should be from that area. I know they're going for a lot of diversity and stuff these days, but in some cases, it just doesn't make sense. And if we're talking about midgets, you know, if the character calls...
We're not talking about midgets, Johnny.
Right. Okay. It's
a touchy subject. It's not one that you maybe want to give an answer to, but it is possibly true that they do play to stereotypes, and I think it works because the audience can really get absorbed by the film. And I think if they were to play by today's standards, where they would try and differentiate in the greatest way possible, and if they were trying to appear like they weren't going to be racially profiled, I just think what they did was great, and I think it would be less well received today if it was released. They would maybe kick up a wee bit of a fuss. I mean, the voice actor for Apu Hasapima Petalon in the Simpsons TV show, he was let go of his job because he was a white male, and it was seen as racist that he was doing an accent because he didn't fit that profile. So the likes of Lou Ferrigno, being a white American-made male, and him donning a tan and playing a tan European warrior, just might not be very well received.
I think you're right. I mean, Apu, he was one of the most beloved characters on The Simpsons, and they've just, he's just gone. Everybody loved Apu. And the thing about Apu is...
Okay, well, Johnny, we're not really
Yeah.
talking about Apu.
Right. Well, I mean, I was just... Can I address...
Johnny,
well,
can I just...
I was addressing... sorry, you're right. Well,
Johnny, can I just... Thank you.
Yes,
okay.
No bother.
It's okay. Okay, lost my place. Okay, Ludo, question for you. If you were to play a role in SBad, who would you play?
Oh.
Just a wee informal question. Let's not get too into it. Who would you play?
Yeah, well, oh my God, I mean, it's full of memorable characters. I would probably play my least favorite character, because which is the comic relief. He's the magician who cannot talk. I don't remember his name in the.
I can't remember his name either. That's terrible. I should know that.
Well, he's played by Leo Gullotta, which is a horrible comedian, Italian comedian. So I don't know. It just.
Have you met him?
No, I don't intend to. Well, I mean, I don't know why he met a person, but as a comedian, well, he just awful. So probably I cannot do a worse job than he did.
Okay,
no, I'm talking bad about it, but yeah, I would go for him. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, Johnny, back to you. Lou Ferrigno, in a famous 1991 interview, said that he would not play the role of Sinbad again if it was the last man on Earth. Do you think this suggests that he was embarrassed by his performance? Johnny? Ludo, question goes over to you.
Yeah, Johnny, you're on mute. I don't know if Johnny. Oh yeah, okay. Well, really, did he say so?
Mm-hmm. He didn't want to play the character again in 1991. Whether he's come back and said again, but what initially made him think that he maybe didn't want to play that? Do you think it was an embarrassing performance for him? Because are you familiar with the film Pumping Iron?
Pumping Iron. Oh, is that the documentary of
with him and Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Right? Yeah.
Yes. Well, anyway, so Lou Ferrigno was bullied quite severely by Arnold Schwarzenegger during the filming of that. There was a wee on-screen feud between them.
Oh,
and
okay, I don't know.
I think Lou Ferrigno was quite insecure back then at that time, and probably because Arnold made him maybe do things that he didn't want to, poked fun at him. So he obviously felt like whatever he was doing had to be kind of justified and verified. And I think when initial reviews from Sinbad came in, he was feeling like he'd been kind of played a wee bit, like he'd been messed with in getting the role. So maybe he was angry at the directors, maybe he was angry at himself.
Well, I don't think he was angry at the director, because as far as I remember, Lou Ferrigno, he ended up being the godfather of the kids of Castellari. So, they cannot be in bad in a bad relation. And also, Lou Ferrigno did Hercules. And Lou Ferrigno's Hercules, it's better. It's a better movie than Schwarzenegger's Hercules. So
interesting.
At least this is what I think.
Is that your opinion, or is that quite an overwhelming majority?
No, that's just my opinion. That's fine.
Opinion. Your opinion is as good as any.
Yeah. That's just, I mean, those are movies like. So it might be because it was generally regarded as a flop, Sinbad. This might be a reason, but I don't think there's anything personal.
Interesting. Yeah, no, that's great.
Say, yeah.
So, sorry, Ludo, having a wee problem with my word. Johnny, are you still with us?
I just fell there. I just fell right on the floor. Sorry. Sorry about the distraction, but I figured out the mute thing now.
Try and stay in your seat.
Carry on.
So, right. Okay. Question for you, Ludo. It's said that back in the day, and it's quite widely regarded, that villains back in the 1970s and 80s would have to have very thin pencil mustaches. Do you think this is the case in Sinbad?
Well, the villain of Sinbad, it's Jafar. It's played by John Steiner, and he is a wonderful villain. He's so sassy and he's so theatrical. Whatever he
Yeah.
does, it looks like he's playing in a theater or something, and he would like look at the camera and tell his things. I mean, it's fantastic. But I do understand what you mean with the thin mustache. Um, like these evil geniuses. I think, yeah, I think he can be regarded one of these villain.
Yeah.
But he's great. Uh, he's a great villain, and they have a great hero as Lou Ferrigno and John Steiner. They are both fantastic. The other characters, eh. Well, some of them are good, yeah, but those two,
They're all
wow.
very interesting. So whether
They are
interesting
all
means good,
very interesting.
it's still good.
And
Yeah.
if I may add just something, you were talking about stereotypes and this kind of roles.
Mm.
Well, this is true for Sinbad because, as you said, it's a movie from the I think it's from 1990 or late 80s or something.
81.
81. Oh no. Uh, okay, yeah. And sorry. But there's one character who is played. Oh, by the way, again by the daughter of Castellari.
Mhm.
She does. I think her name is Kyra. She's
Kyra.
the daughter of Leo Gullotta, well, of the comedian. And she's a female character, but she's pretty strong. She puts up
Mm.
a fight. It's not like the princess who's just get kidnapped and she's
Yeah,
leaving.
damsel in distress type thing.
Yeah, I mean that's horrible. So there is this kind of stereotype, but it's also you have some interesting things going on.
Excellent. So, do you think people would have taken Sinbad less seriously or seen him as less of the hero if he had a beard?
Okay, first of all,
So, counter opposite.
you're not supposed to take this movie seriously. I mean,
No, of course not.
that's not the point. It doesn't even wants to be taken seriously. If he had the beer, well, you know what? It could work.
It could.
It could work, but then you will have a hero and the villain both with a beard.
Exactly. And that can't
Would this
work.
be acceptable?
No. What you said earlier about the film being just fun through and through, even with its flaws, is totally true. It is just a great watch. And it is a movie like you can watch it whenever. You can go back, watch it in your late 20s, and you'll watch it in your 50s, and you'll still get that same memory from when you first saw it. And just, I think that's the thing with all these movies. Like Johnny said with Arnold and Arnold Ferrigno, those types of movies, they're the actors that you remember. I always remember Arnold Schwarzenegger being very, I don't know, just like an idol almost.
Yeah.
So even though later on in life you might poke all the holes in the movies and pick out the flaws that you didn't maybe see when you were younger, you'll still enjoy it because it's that movie that you loved back then.
Yeah, exactly. And it's so entertaining. There's so much going on, so much action. And Castellari, he's a master of action. He can do action movies. Well, he did some pretty bad movies as well. Fine, but that's fine.
Yeah.
That's normal. But he did some great action movie. That you know what?
Is there another
just
movie you could
fantastic.
recommend by him?
Oh, my favorite Castellari movie, it's The Bronx Warrior.
The Bronze Worker.
Bronx Warriors.
Bronze Warriors, okay.
Yeah. That's my favorite one. It has some incredible cinematography, some scenes which you don't really understand why those scenes they look great, but why are there? And then I talked with him about this, and he's like, "Oh, okay. There's this one scene, my favorite scene ever. There are two gangs. Okay, so this is a kind of a ripoff of the Warriors. It's like a mixture between the Warriors and Escape from the Bronx, kind of, right? It
Okay.
has its own identity though. So there are these two gangs which meet up under a bridge in New York City, in the Bronx.
Mhm.
And when they're arriving, so one gang's arrive with a motorcycle, the other with the car. There's this, at the very beginning of the scene, this drummer under the bridge playing, and he's alone, and he plays this wonderful drum solo alone. And then slowly the two gangs arrive. It gives me the chills every time I watch it. It's fantastic. And then I ask him,
That sounds
how did
great.
you? Yeah, I mean, what happened? I mean, what happened? How did you even think about this scene? And he's like, oh no, you know what? I went there the day before, and I actually saw the drummer. There was a drummer there.
Oh, so he was under the bridge and he
re-
just decided to
Under
film
the
a scene
bridge,
with him in it.
yeah, rehearsing, and he's like,
Interesting.
oh, this looks great. I'll put it in my movie, and just like this.
Wow.
But hey, if you haven't seen it, Bronx Warrior, fantastic movie.
Excellent. I'll be sure to check it out. Oh, I think final question, Ludo. Is there anything you would change about Sinbad to make it better or more memorable? And don't say Sinbad's beard.
Well, if there is one thing that I would change, and there's one thing that it's actually still possible to change, and it's the editing. I am sure that somewhere there's this magic vault with all the films, the original films. Probably if somebody, possibly Castellari himself, went on and re-edit the movie as he envisioned it, that would make a fantastic DVD feature. That would be great.
Do you
That's
think it would ever happen, having spoken to Castellari?
I don't think there's a lot of interest for Sinbad. I don't think it's a cult movie yet.
Yeah.
It's might become, but I don't think it's yet a cult movie. So I'm not sure, but there's something possible. And can you imagine? He shot the movie and as he envisioned it, and if he would just to edit it, and we will have like I wouldn't say the real, but the director's cut, the real
Yeah.
director's cut.
Yeah.
That would be fantastic. But for the rest, I love the movie with all its faults. It's great.
Excellent. Well, that's brilliant. Ludo, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much. I can't believe those stories were so interesting. I mean,
Hey,
you've met both of them. It's unbelievable.
Yeah,
It's
thanks a lot
so much fun.
for inviting. Yeah. Okay, I have one question for you though.
Yes.
Is this for your project, or are you doing some
Yes,
kind of
it's a
documentary?
a short film documentary project. So we're just going about kind of interviewing just different fans who takes on different movies. Sinbad was here. You seemed keen. It was awesome. Thank you.
Great. Thanks a lot.
Honestly, great stuff. So brilliant. So, yeah.
Good luck.
Wrap it up and I'll be in touch, okay?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I'll be happy to see the final things.
Yeah. And Johnny, thank you so much for joining.
Hi, Johnny.
Absolutely.
Johnny,
it was a pleasure.
What's this you've got?
I'm not sure. That's just come up on my screen as well. I think it's just a. Is that you guys?
No,
Not me.
I think that's you, Johnny.
All right.
Is that Lou Ferrigno as the Hulk?
Oh yeah, here he is. What?
I don't think Lou Ferrigno's dead, Johnny.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
You don't think so? Why was it on a video you have? Did you make that?
That was.
Okay. I think we'll wrap that up there. Well, thanks so much, Ludo. Again,
thanks a lot.
Thank you, Johnny. Great video. Lovely talking.
Yeah, keep in touch, huh?
I will do. Thank you.
Ciao, bye.
Ciao.